Hi, I looked at this book which I found, and the book was called, well, I bought it actually, it's from Christie's, and it was cheap, you know, it was $1.50, €1.50 actually, and I wanted to buy this book because of the fact that there's a lot of art in it. And of course, maybe you know that Christie's is the art auction selling company who sells all the artists from, let's say, the last hundreds of years. Andy Warhol I can see here, don't know this one, Dubuffet, and all big names is in there. And Ralph Estes, whatever the name is, or whatever the selection of the Christie's do is because of the fact that it will sell at Christie's. So there is some kind of St. Francis here, abstract expressionist stuff, and here we go into figurative Murakami, I guess. Yes, and so on until now, until 2000, and this one is funny, until this is from Catalan. So until, let's say, now 2019, I don't know when this book is actually, but they are all with big prices. It's not normal prices. It's thousands, 2000s, until, let's say, 50,000, maybe 100,000, sometimes even more. Here I can see 400,000 for a Calder and statue. So sculpture, it's mobile sculpture from Calder, 600,000 estimated. So I was very interested in the prices, and I was also very interested in the post-war prices, but I was also very much interested in what I saw in there, and the word contemporary. Contemporary is something else. Contemporary art, it says. So it doesn't say modern art anymore. It says contemporary. So what is that then? It's also, I can see now, it's also works from the collection of Michael Crichton. Don't know. But what I asked myself as a teacher as well and as an artist is, how do I get there? How do I get the prices? And how do I get to a certain kind of level which is better than where I am right now? And the answer is actually not so easy, of course. You can do three things, or a lot of things, of course, but it all comes down to the three things which not I found out, but the art world is talking about all the way. And most of the artists think that it's about skills. You need skills, more skills, even way more better skills, and the only thing is skills. Well, that's not the answer. That's not the only answer. And maybe a skill can be very simple and very normal. So then what? You know, if I look up to this one, what about skills? Is this so much skills? It's pretty easy done. So why do they buy them? Why do they sell so much for? Do they pay so much money for this artwork? It's, I think, from, yeah, I know for sure, from Roy Lichtenstein, pop art artist. And how come? How come people pay so much money for that? You have to think about it as well as an artist. What do you have to do to get more money, to get more recognition, to get more success? Well, like I said, it's not only about skills. It's about the skills and the content you think of, the contextualization of your artwork. Where are you? Where do you start? Which group of artists do you like best, most? And how does it resonate with you? And then think about how do I get to the next level for myself? Like if they are at the peak of their group of artists, let's say the pop art group, or the abstract expressionist group, or whatever group there is, most of the time it's not really a group of artists, but it's mentioned as a group of artists. Most of the time they were friends, but even though they have their own problems for themselves as well. But how come that they are getting accepted as a good artist in that group? Well, like I said, skill first, but then the content, of course. You have to dive deeper into the things you want to talk about, in the things you want to say, what your feeling is, what your thoughts about the world is, what your thoughts about your life is. It must come from the inside, and it must come from the authentic way. And in saying so, that's not so easy. You know, do the authentic way. You have to be authentic. It has to be really you. But you have to deep dive then in a very analytical way. Analytical first, then pilot up, or no, I don't mean pilot up, determinize the stuff, you know, put it into blocks. I do this, I do that, I talk a little bit about this, and then make it into some kind of square. You need some kind of square in between your work. It's a field of art where you are at. See it like a sports game where they put you into a team, but you are always put into a team on some kind of place in the whole field. But at that place you have to be really good at that kind of stuff. And that's why you are a good sportsman in that era, like let's say baseball or whatever kind of sport, soccer. You have to be put out somewhere, and then you have to get the skills right there better. And that's the same in the arts. First search your niche, search your group of artists, then search for the content way more. Don't stay with the skills, don't think it will happen overnight, don't think you have to be lucky or whatever. No, it must be aligned. Those two has to be aligned. And then of course the third part is the branding part, which is pretty difficult maybe, but it's also out there to grab. You know, there's so much in reach now with branding. We have the YouTube, we have the Instagram, Facebook, we have the LinkedIn, we have even all kinds of Reddit, and way more to get into. You can make books now pretty easily, and you can also print it out pretty easy. Although it's a small book, it's still a book. So the branding part is the third part. Those three things has to be aligned, and if you make that aligned, then you will do great. You will do at least better than you are right now. So that's about it. To get there, find your niche, get the skills in the niche, but especially get the content there, the thinking about why are you there, and then try to evolve it with your own stuff, your own authentic you, the things you are worried about or think about, and then finally put the branding on top of it. That's a pyramid. And I talk a lot about this method of those three angles, and I coached a lot about it as well. I do a lot of live coaching, and I help artists to get to the next level in the search of the content and in the search of the authentic way. The authentic you, that's the main importance in the art, because when it's authentic, it will resonate. Not by everybody, because not everybody like your style or your way of thinking, but the people who are in your corner, they will like it, and they will have the resonating stuff because of the fact that you are authentic. They can feel it also. It's not only thinking, but it's also the feeling. It's not only feeling, because that's not enough, it's also the thinking. So it has to be some kind of combination of all these parts, put them aligned and get it out there. And that's what we do, and that's why I found out the mix method, where I help all the artists to get to the authentic. And I call it true self. And true self, it's a little bit more than self. A self is a selfie. I'm now in front of a camera, And you can see me now and I can see me later on YouTube or whatever I put it on. But then that's a self kind of image and I talk about stuff. But my true self is something else. That's my deeper layer of how I think when I walk in the world. What do I think about? What do I feel? What do I recognize? What are my senses? And what do I put out there in the art world as well? So true self is really deep diving inside and then get it out there. It's about your soul. It's about being authentic, being original, being unique, and find it first, get it out there, know what you're doing then, and then get into the levels. The first level, get it and get it out there. And second level is always the next level in going deep diving into the content. And then you can also skip skills or change disciplines to get the content out of yourself and then into the arts, so that it will all resonate with the viewer and with the art world as well, because they think about those things. Is it aligned? Does it feel authentic? Is it more into a deeper kind of sense or deeper kind of analytic level? And they know, because they have seen so many artists, so much artwork, so they see it immediately. And that's why maybe you don't have that much of success right now, but you will get better if you try the mixed method and search for yourself for the authentic way. Okay, try the button below. There you have a button, and then when you click on it, you will be derived to the mix.org website, and you can find a lot more information there and try it out, figure it out.